Hello, how are
Good
you?
morning.
Good morning. Hello, everyone. This is Tracy Caulfield with the Cushing Chamber of Commerce, and we are continuing our series of doing very short, informal interviews with all of the candidates and incumbents that are going to be on the June 18th primary election ballots. And today we have John Talley. He is the incumbent of the Oklahoma representative for District 33.
Correct.
Correct? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because
Yes.
sometimes the Senate seat and the representative seat is not the same district, or it doesn't have the same district numbers.
Right.
Yes.
And it's changed even where it is. Now it goes District 33 for the House of Representatives goes from Drumright all the way down to Guthrie now.
Oh, wow.
And so,
That's
yes.
a huge area.
And so, yes, it's a lot of driving, but it's rural. And that's what I love is because I'm a rural person.
Yeah, you are, for sure.
So
tell us some more about you. Who are you?
Well, have lived in Payne County for 50 years this year.
Oh, wow.
And met my wife at Oklahoma State University. And then when I became an FCA director, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, I've been coming to Cushing for 31 years now.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of fun to see the kids grow up.
Yeah.
And stay here and work and our teachers. And so it's pretty fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And how long have you been in the representative seat?
This is the end of my 6th year.
6th year.
So 3 terms. You can do 6 terms total because we have term limits for most things. Now, we don't have term limits for county things, but we do for state things, like the governor can be 2 terms, which is 8 years, the lieutenant governor, but representatives and senators, it's 12 years.
Okay, got it. So what made you want to run again?
Well, I don't think I'm finished with what I'm trying to get done. They put me last year, 2 years ago, the beginning of the 59th, as the chairman of the Children, Youth, and Family Committee. And a lot of people actually from Cushing are having some problems with the Department of Human Services, DHS.
Right.
And so I'm slowly trying to get all the players to the table and say, okay, what can we do to work on some of the problems that DHS has? And people don't realize DHS has 4,300 people working for them, one head, and they go from baby to old person because they're in charge of nursing homes and overseeing the safety. And so it's really interesting. To me, it's too big for one person, but we're trying to help them. So I just feel like I'm not done yet.
Right. Is there some other things that you feel that, if reelected, that you would like to see get completed or even start?
Good question. Thank you. Always, like, for example, the road out here in front wasn't being worked on as quickly as we wanted it to. And sometimes I think your senator and your House of Representative leader needs to step in and say, here's what we need to do.
Right.
For example, I was just thinking this week, a lot of people think, well, I'm going to get in there and I'm only going to talk about education, or I'm only going to talk about saving babies. But after that's voted on, what else is there? And so like just this week, in fact, I've had usually about 100 emails a week.
Yeah.
15 to 20 phone calls. Hey, would you check on this? Would you check on this? Would you check on this? So Highway 18 is a big one right now because people want to know, is that going to get finished? And what is it going to look like? And so they say by the end of next year, for sure, probably the end of this summer, they'll get it done. Wow. But there's just so much work being done, widening it, making sure that it has a shoulder. And so that's one of the things I really appreciate about Governor Stitt is that he said, you know, while I'm here, I really want to make the smaller roads safer where they have a shoulder where you can pull off if you had a problem or something.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
So if you notice the road 51 going into Yale now is done.
Yes.
And so sometimes just getting some of those, it was terrible.
Yeah.
Just as bad as Highway 18 right here north out of Cushing is terrible.
Yeah.
But there's all kinds of stuff. Like I had a bill to help ALS patients, the Lou Gehrig's disease. They have approximately 24 to 36 months to live once they're diagnosed. And so the good senator from up in Burlington, Oklahoma, and I were running an ALS bill. And for some reason yesterday, the Senate decided they weren't going to listen to it. So it died. But hopefully if I get reelected, I'll bring it back.
Yeah.
So the point I was trying to make is you may go into thinking you're going to do all this and it's different than what you thought.
Right.
And I'm glad, and I didn't realize it 6 years ago when I ran, I said, I want to listen. And I think I do a good job of listening to my constituents and then trying to solve problems that arise.
Right.
I brought this today just to show you. Here is the activity calendar from yesterday.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
So I had these printed off because I read them, but pick that up and see how heavy that is. That is all the bills that we're going to vote on yesterday.
Oh, wow.
And so they're going to ask you, hey, are you for this or not?
Right.
And I like knowing what I'm talking about.
Right.
So I looked through all these yesterday, or actually day before yesterday, so that I would be on top of whatever it is we're talking about.
Yes. I mean, I do not vote, and I actually live outside of this this area. So I know that I can confidently say this and not get in trouble as swaying or anything like that. Even when you were first elected, you have been very big on asking questions too. If you don't know, you ask.
Right.
You just don't act like you know. You ask and you find out and you dig and you ask questions, lots of questions.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
I tried
fantastic.
to.
Yeah.
I grew up on a farm in Anadarko, Oklahoma, same size town as Cushing, and when you're a farmer, you don't know everything. How to raise chickens, how to raise cows, how to peanuts. We had 100 acres of peanuts, and so you ask questions, I think, to get smarter. And so there's people in Cushing that I regularly email. So thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely.
One of my concerns, I've had good friends that have gone to prison. Some things they did that weren't smart. And so I am really concerned about criminal justice reform. And we need to keep or put bad people in prison. Once you serve, though, it's very hard to get a job.
Yes.
It's very hard to get a place to rent a house or rent an apartment. And so the technology center over here is unbelievable. Kent Burris has worked so hard. The truck driving school, I bet people don't realize if you get out of prison and you stay off drugs, you're drug tested every week, you can go through their program and get a job making $60,000 a year. I mean, Fred, I think it's called Fred Meyer's trucking company hires everybody that they train. It is that good of place. And if you want to drive cross country, you can make up to $150,000 a year.
Oh my goodness.
And so knowing that you have an opportunity to not go back to prison, People don't realize when you get out, you owe money to every county, just about every county that you've been in jail while they're, going through the process of putting you in prison. So one of my friends owed like $24,000 to Oklahoma City County Jail, $12,000 to Payne County Jail. And so when you get out, if you don't start paying back even $20 a month, in 3 months, you go back to prison. Yeah. And so that's a big thing that I try to work on. And I try to take people to prison to see that there are inmates that when they get out, if we help support them a little, they'll stay out. Yeah. And so we've worked on getting a number of businesses to say, you know what, we're going to take off the application, name, address, and then have you ever committed a felony? Now, in the interview and the background check, you will find that out. But at least we can have a conversation and I can see what kind of person you are. And then decide if I want to hire you or not. Yeah. So it's, I think that's a good step in the right direction.
Absolutely. That is probably one of the biggest obstacles that I've seen come across here at the chamber. When people are asking for our job postings, we have a job postings page on our website and, well, who's felony friendly?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not sure, but that is something that we want to work on in communicating to our business community. How do you want to handle that? Let's work together to figure out a way to open that up a little bit more.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Is there anything else that, I've asked the other candidates, you're my first incumbent to interview. So, is there any other, any of your campaign points, for this go around that you would like to discuss?
Well, I think there's always misunderstandings that people have, like in your voting. I didn't know this, and I bet nobody watching knows this. There are unwritten rules that are applied at the state capitol. For example, we're asked that if somebody's trying to run a bill and it's not that good, you can say, I want to take the title off of the bill. Okay? And so we were asked, anytime a title is taken off the bill, vote for it. Even if you don't like it, vote for it so that they can work on it. And so there's several bills that people have said, how come you voted that way? Well, I voted for it, but when it came back around, it died.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, it looks like you voted. I voted almost 1,000 times every year. So that's approximately 6,000 votes I've made in 6 years. Yeah. And some people are complaining about 1 or 2 votes. And I'm like, but if you understood the voting process, you might not have that problem at looking at it. So I wish people understood that. In fact, yesterday I was talking to a senator and I said, what's the biggest surprise you've had? And he said, I didn't understand the minutia of it. I watched on TV where a bill becomes a law with Schoolhouse Rocks. Yeah. and it does become that, but in between, there's a lot of the weeds that people don't understand. Yeah. And don't really need to. Right. But that's why you vote for someone that isn't afraid to ask questions. Right. So it's imperative. Yeah. I think it is. So I have doctors, lawyers, the mayors, the city managers on speed dial, because seriously, I don't know what's best for Cushing. I don't, I know that when the prison closed for a few months, Senator Duggar and I were here a lot saying, okay, what can we do? Because there's 300 people going to be out of a job and a career.
Yeah.
And so, we worked very hard at seeing what we could do to make that turn into something good.
Yeah.
And so I'm very proud of
Yeah,
working on that.
That was definitely a true showing of our community and our representatives and senators working together for the good of a community.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I mean? It was perfect example. Chef's kiss. It
And
was
actually,
very well,
at first it looked terrible, but now
yeah,
it's really been a huge benefit
yeah.
to change it into a federal
Mhm.
prison.
Yeah.
Because Cushing gets more benefits from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would have to say that they are more involved with the community as well now. So it's really nice having that relationship with them.
Yes,
we
ma'am.
had a relationship before, but this is a lot more.
Yes,
so
it is.
So yeah.
Last weekend we did some services with the American Legion, and at Fairlawn and Uchi Valley cemeteries. Oh my gosh, it is unbelievable the importance of our veterans in keeping us free to even allow us to make this video right now.
Right.
To allow us to vote, to allow us to do things, and so I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Getting the opportunity to come over and hang out and talk.
Yeah.
But I want to encourage everyone to get out and vote. Mm-hmm. Early voting starts on the 13th, and then the primary is the main voting day is the 18th, Tuesday the 18th.
Yes.
I just want to get another chance. Give me 2 more years to get back down there. I told my wife, when I drive back and forth every day. Mm-hmm. And I told my wife, when I make that corner and I can see the Capitol, when I'm not excited to be driving to it, I need to retire and let someone else take the reins, because it is hard work. A lot of times it's thankless. Mm-hmm. And you would understand that, all the work you do behind the scenes to get a business to come in, open up. It's hard work.
It is.
And so thank you for the opportunity to share this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming in. We really appreciate it. And since you spoke about early voting, I'll just mention real quickly, here at the Chamber office, we will be doing early voting. We'll be hosting the Payne County Election Board on June 13th, 14th, and 15th. That is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So Thursday and Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., you can come in at any time and get your early voting done for the June 18th primary election. And that is for anyone in Payne County. A registered voter in Payne County can stop by here at the Chamber office at 1301 East Main Street and vote and get their voting done early and on your time schedule. So you don't have to, keep it to that Tuesday, June 18th, and try to figure out, rearrange, and juggle a bunch of balls, the kids, everything else, because they're all out for summer. So, and on Saturday, June 15th, the times are 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we hope that you come through and use that resource. So
can I say that if enough people come in, we could maybe have this as a regular voting site.
Yes.
So I want to encourage everyone to come by here and do their early voting.
Yeah. The bigger the show up, the better the rewards in the end.
Right.
So we're very hopeful. So come in, early vote. All right. Well, thank you so much.
You bet. Have a great day.
Yes. Have a great day. Thanks for coming in.